Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we help you make sense of the money moves that shape our world. And boy, does this latest filing have some interesting shifts. Today we are diving into a report from Streamex Corp that sheds light on some significant financial and leadership changes. This is basically a company telling the public about important events that are happening right now, and a lot is happening with Streamex. Think of this as a company's urgent bulletin to the stock market, letting everyone know about crucial developments that could affect how its stock is valued. And of course, this all comes through the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, making sure everything is on the up and up. So Streamex Corp is the company in question here, and they've had quite a February. It's incorporated in Delaware, which is pretty common for many businesses. Let's get to the meat of what's actually changing for investors and the company. The biggest news seems to be around their debt and how they are handling it. This section talks about something ending that was really important for the company. Specifically, they've dealt with some convertible debentures that were issued to a group called Yathoki N Ltd. Basically, these were loans that could turn into company stock. The company previously announced they were going to pay off these loans, and in early February, a big chunk of that debt, $15 million worth, was converted into stock. This means that whoever owned that debt now owns Streamex stock instead. That is a pretty significant shift in ownership, and then the company went ahead and paid off the rest of this debt. They paid a whopping $38.9 million in cash to completely clear this obligation. This included principal, a prepayment penalty, and some interest. What this means is that this specific debt agreement, which was tied to certain assets of the company, is now completely gone. This is a big deal because it removes a financial burden and also frees up any assets that were used as security for that debt. Now, beyond the financials, is also a key change in leadership. Morgan Lekstrom, who was already a big part of the company as a co-founder and chairman, is now taking on an even more active role as executive chairman. This often means more hands-on involvement in the daily operations and strategic direction. It's interesting to note that they haven't finalized any changes to his pay yet. This is something to keep an eye on, as executive role changes often come with compensation adjustments. The company stated they will update this when that information is determined. This section lumps together a few other important tidbits. They officially announced these leadership and debt repayment milestones via press release. The mention of cancelling the SAPA is also noteworthy, suggesting another agreement has been concluded. Another point here is about shares being registered for resale. This means that certain existing shareholders, specifically Terra Capital Natural Resources Fund, can now sell a block of about 2.4 million shares on the open market. This can sometimes put pressure on the stock price if those shares are sold quickly, but it also signals a move towards more liquidity for those investors. This is where they list all the supporting documents for the report. They've included a legal opinion from a law firm, which is standard for significant financial transactions. And here is that press release we just talked about, confirming the major announcements. Finally, the report is signed off by Carl Henry McPhee, the Chief Executive Officer, on the 13th of February 2026. The date of signing is usually a bit after the events reported, giving them time to compile and file the information properly. So, putting it all together, Streamex Corp has had a very busy period. They've effectively cleared a significant chunk of debt, which is generally a positive move for financial health, reducing interest payments and removing restrictive covenants. The leadership change with Morgan Lekstrom taking on an executive chairman role suggests a deepening of commitment, and perhaps a strategic shift towards more direct leadership involvement. The registration of shares for resale indicates that some early investors are now looking to cash out, which is a natural part of a company's life cycle. The biggest takeaway here is the debt reduction. Paying off nearly $39 million in debt shows a company that is serious about strengthening its balance sheet and reducing its financial risk, while they paid a premium to do so. This kind of deleveraging can lead to greater financial flexibility and potentially a higher valuation in the long run. The leadership change is also a strong signal that the company is prioritizing experienced guidance at the executive level. The stock registration is a normal event, but it is something investors should be aware of, as it could lead to increased selling pressure on the stock. Overall, Streamex appears to be in a phase of restructuring and solidifying its financial position. The company is taking steps to reduce its obligations and is reinforcing its leadership. The key question moving forward will be how this improved financial footing translates into growth and profitability. The opportunities lie in leveraging this cleaner balance sheet to pursue new initiatives or expand existing ones without the burden of that debt. The risks, as always, involve market competition, execution of strategy, and potential unforeseen economic factors. However, based on this filing, the company is making moves towards a more stable financial future. Alright, that's our breakdown of Streamex Corp's latest report. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Do you think clearing that debt was the right move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.